Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and today I'm going to be taking you through an ab routine to help you get shredded just in time for the summer. This is week 12 of the 6 months to shredded abs routine. For it, we are going to need some mats and we are going to need a kettlebell. And this is intended for intermediates. If you are more advanced and you don't want to wait for the whole 6-month program, consider becoming a member because I have the whole 6-month program outlined in my community tab. But with regard to this one, it's basically the same workout as last week, only we're going to be adding a little bit of volume. We're going to start off with the rectus abdominis strengthening exercise, and for this one, it's going to be the abdominal curl up. Exact same as last week. What we're doing is we want the legs straight, we want to cross the arms at the shoulders, and then we want the entire spine nice and flat. We're going to initiate the movement by tucking the chin toward the chest, and then we want to create a nice C-shaped curve with the spine, so we're going to round one vertebrae at a time until we come up into this nice seated upright position, and then we're going to stand up nice and tall at the top, and then on the way down, we're going to reverse it by creating that C-shaped curve with the spine, and we're going to touch one vertebra at a time. So we're tucking in the chin, raising the thoracic spine, and then once we've raised the thoracic, we're going to go a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to the top, and then we're going to reverse it by touching the L5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on the bottom, thoracic, and then head. And that is the abdominal strengthening exercise for the abdominal curl up for the rectus abdominis. The second exercise is going to be the external oblique exercise. For the external oblique exercise, what we are going to do, and for the rectus abdominis, for the abdominal curl up, we're doing 50 repetitions. That's 50 repetitions. For the next exercise, for the external obliques, we're going to flex the knees to 90 degrees. We're going to cup the hand over the opposite shoulder with the opposite arm. We're going to cross the midline on a diagonal so that the hand is roughly in between the mid-thigh, so between the anterior, inferior iliac spine and the patella. And then for this one, since we're focusing on the supra-umbilical fibers, we're only going to go to the level of the L3, or roughly the umbilicus. So we're going to do positive torsion, which is a combination of flexion with rotation. So imagine that you're trying to bring your elbow toward your mid-thigh. Once you've gotten up to the level of the umbilicus, you're going to stop. So you're not going to come all the way up for this exercise. For this one, we are going to be performing 40 repetitions. That is 40. Once we've completed all 40 repetitions, we're then going to move on to the transverse abdominis strengthening exercise. So for this one, what we are going to do is 3 total sets of 5 passes. Each pass includes 1 inhale and 1 exhale. So we're going to initiate by taking a big belly breath in and expanding the belly button toward the sky. This is going to give some good myofascial tension on the transverse abdominis. And then we're going to exhale by sinking the belly deep down toward the spine, and that's going to count as 1 pass. The second pass, same thing. We're going to inhale, but we're going to keep that belly tucked in. We don't want to let it raise. Then we're going to exhale, try and sink deeper down toward the spine. That's the second pass. We're going to inhale, keep that belly tucked in. Exhale, try and get deeper down toward the spine. That's going to be pass number 3. We've got 2 more. Inhale. Keep that belly tucked in. Don't let it raise. Don't let it raise. Exhale. Draw it down toward the spine. And we've got 1 more pass. So we're going to inhale. Keep that belly tucked in. Try your best not to let it raise up toward the sky. Exhale. Sink deeper. Once all 5 passes have been completed, inhale and reset by allowing the belly button to expand up toward the sky. That counts as 1 set. We're going to do 3 total sets. Once we've completed all 3 total sets, we're going to move on to the sub-umbilical work, which is going to be the lower abdominals. And we're going to start with the rectus abdominis sub-umbilical fiber. So we're going to flex the hips and knees to 90 degrees. We want the arms at the level of the glenohumeral angle, so anywhere from 90 to 135 degrees. Everything up top is nice and stabilized. So we got the chin tucked in. And then for this one, we want to maintain that perpendicular position of the femurs to the ground without allowing it to go into flexion or extension. So we want to remain perpendicular the entire time. And all we're going to do is drive the knees up toward the sky. This is sub-umbilical work, so you only need to go to the level of the umbilicus or your L3. You don't need to go any higher than that. The first time that you do this, if you're not very strong in your core, you may not be able to get your butt up off the ground. Just do what you can. The main thing is that you have the intention of driving the knees up toward the sky. And then for this exercise right over here, we're going to do 40 total repetitions. That's 40 before moving on to the external oblique sub-umbilical work. So for the external oblique, we're going to flex the hip and knee to 90 degrees. With the opposite leg, we want to go into adduction, a deduction of 30 to 45 degrees. And we're going to do that by crossing the leg over the midline, by crossing it over the opposite leg. Then arms are going to be in the same position. And for this one, we want to try and drive the hip towards the opposite shoulder. And once again, because this is a sub-umbilical exercise, we only need to go to the level of the L3. So you don't need to bring the knee all the way to the shoulder. For this one, we're going to be performing 30 repetitions, so that is 3-0. And then once that's been completed, we're going to move on to the last exercise, which as usual is going to be the diaphragmatic breathing strengthening exercise. For that, we're going to place a kettlebell over the umbilicus or your belly button. You're going to inhale. As you inhale, you're going to try and drive the kettlebell up toward the sky. And then you're going to exhale. Let the kettlebell sink deep toward the spine. So we're inhaling, raising the kettlebell, and then exhaling, letting the kettlebell sink. Inhale, up, exhale, down. We're going to do 20 total repetitions of that. And then that is it for the week 12 program. And once again, I'm going to go over a quick little recap. So we have the rectus abdominis. We're doing the abdominal curl up with the arms crossed at the shoulders for 50 repetitions. That's 5-0. Then we have the external oblique, the supra-umbilical fibers with the arm crossed. That one we're going to be performing 40 repetitions, 4-0. For the transverse abdominis strengthening exercise, we're doing 3 total sets of 5 passes each set. Then we're getting into the sub-umbilical work, where we're going to be doing the lower abdominals for the rectus abdominis. We're going to do 40 repetitions, 4-0 of that. And then we're going to do 30 repetitions, 3-0 of the sub-umbilical external oblique exercise with the leg crossed over the opposite leg. And then we're going to finish off with 20 repetitions of the kettlebell for the diaphragmatic breathing strengthening exercise. But that is it for week 12 of the 6 months to shredded abs routine. Then next week, I'm going to be taking you through week 13.